Here's your news for November 13th, 2019. We're starting off with arguably the biggest news of the year, as WWE has confirmed that CM Punk is back in WWE. Punk, who left the company in January 2014, made a shocking appearance at the end of this week's edition of WWE Backstage, coming out to his iconic theme, Cult of Personality. Speaking to the WWE Universe for the first time in years, the Chicago-made star confirmed that this won't be his only appearance on the show, telling fans that he will see them there next week, and Fox confirmed that Punk will be making sporadic appearances on WWE Backstage beginning next Tuesday. There was a long time when fans thought that the idea of a Punk return was impossible, especially after the former world champion vocally criticized the company for how it had treated him and other superstars backstage. A scathing interview about WWE's Chris Amon also made the chances of a Punk return unlikely, as did the defamation lawsuit by Amon that Punk and former friend Colt Cabana ultimately won. It should be noted that last week's premiere broadcast of WWE Backstage drew just 49,000 fans, though expect that number to rise dramatically next week with an appearance by the best in the world. Though this is obviously great news for WWE and their backstage show, the latest Monday Night Raw suffered some worrying reports about Seth Rollins, as the company is allegedly editing fan response to the former Universal Champion. According to those who attended the latest Raw in Manchester, England, the Beast Slayer got some heavy boos when he appeared, but it sounded like he was getting heavily cheered on TV. On Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez said, "Apparently the Rollins segment was so heavily edited they used crowd reactions from the October 28th Raw for the cutaways. Listen, when I was watching that last night, Seth Rollins said something and they cut to a shot of the crowd cheering. When they cut back to him, everyone was all of a sudden sitting down again." Alvarez also said that there were several more examples of the crowd being sweetened to favor the former Universal Champion, and the Wrestling Observer journalist isn't the only one to speak out. On Twitter, Talk Sports, Alex McCarthy said he was at the show and noted that Rollins' comment about being the best wrestler on the planet was booed live, but when the show aired on TV, fans couldn't hear the negative crowd. Another fan on Twitter also said that Rollins had to wait a solid minute and a half before he could start his promo, and if this is true, then this was also cut from the broadcast. It's surprising to see Rollins be turned on by fans in a similar way to how Roman Reigns was in 2014, but the moments with the Architect weren't the only parts of Raw that were chopped up. According to multiple fan reports, the Lana Rusev-Lashley segment was heavily booed during the show, but the negative reaction wasn't nearly as strong when the episode was aired much later. While you could still hear the fans boo Lana for her actions, fans in Manchester said the Ravishing Russian had go-away heat instead of heel heat because the segment was so bad. Having canned crowd reactions is nothing new in WWE and has been used since the 1980s, when the then WWF would pipe in crowd noise on their weekly shows and taped episodes of Saturday Night's Main Event. Now it's much harder to fake a crowd reaction since both Raw and SmackDown are aired live, but it seems Vince McMahon took the opportunity this week to edit with the red brand that had been filmed well in advance. From WWE to AEW now, and while the latest episode of Being the Elite didn't contain any bombshell announcements, it did cover a lot from last Saturday's pay-per-view, including the barbed wire board and highlighting more issues between Hangman Page and the Young Bucks. Appropriately called Backstage at Full Gear, the video also covered a lot from after the recent Dynamite in Charlotte, where there was one segment that will definitely have fans talking. At about the 4-minute 40 mark, Nick and Matt Jackson joked about being delayed at DFW International Airport, even describing the situation as a hostage situation in, quote, a lawless desert. While they didn't mention the country specifically, it's clear that the Bucks are referencing WWE's recent troubles in Saudi Arabia, where several superstars were left to stay overnight in Riyadh after what WWE claimed were mechanical issues, but others have suggested was due to more serious concerns. We're not sure whether it's funny or inappropriate to make jokes about fellow wrestlers feeling worried for their own safety, but if we know the Bucks and AEW, this won't be the last time they bring up WWE as a punchline to their humor. Since Crown Jewel, there have been plenty of rumors about WWE's backstage work, with the alleged story about mechanical issues with the plane being the only reason they got stuck in the Middle East being part of some kind of cover-up, and that their running down the dirt sheets was mandated by corporate. Whatever the truth is, it's clear we won't find out anytime soon, if ever, but expect plenty of discussion about the issues for a long time to come. We're heading back to Raw now, and although the Rusev, Lana, and Lashley love triangle was met with heavy boos by fans, this doesn't seem to be the reaction for those involved. It seems fans are still undecided whether the storyline is bad or so bad it's good, but one person who likes it is Rusev, who spoke to British tabloid The Sun about why he is so fond of the storyline. He said, "It's great. I think we are in the best storyline currently going on and the best storyline that's been around for years. It's getting a lot of views and a lot of eyes on it. Some people like it, some people love it, but at the end of the day, it's the hottest storyline going on. It's a collaboration. There's adjustments that we make outside of kayfabe, but that's just life. We're committed to our characters on TV, so we just have to make slight adjustments, but we're professionals and we're coping with it." It's hard to argue with Rusev's claim of the angle being hot, as the YouTube video of the fake pregnancy from this week's Raw is by far the most watched video from the show. So, though many consider the story to be a car crash, it's a wreck that fans still want to see. Continuing, Rusev also gave a positive outlook to his entire WWE career, saying, "My goal is to be healthy. That's my first and foremost. It doesn't matter about storylines or things like that. One day you ride a tank, but the next day you do nothing but main event dark matches, so it's a big wave. You just gotta ride the wave and do the best with anything that is given to you. You gotta enjoy everything you do, and you gotta control what you can control, because some things you can't, and there's no point being mad, so whatever I can control I do, and if not, I'm just having a blast with it." This definitely seems to be the right attitude from the Bulgarian Brute, but hopefully the former US champion will get more high-profile angles down the line that don't involve other people sleeping with his wife. While Vic Joseph keeps telling fans our hearts should go out to Rusev for his fictional predicament, his heart certainly isn't going out to those who want the angle to end. From one monster of WWE to another now, as it's apparent that Braun Strowman isn't friends with AEW star Jon Moxley. On Instagram, the monster among men wrote, "When you laugh in the face of competition cause you know you're the baddest motherfucker in the business regardless of what the pencil does. Hashtag my legacy, hashtag my life, hashtag my rules, hashtag made this, hashtag it's mine, hashtag try me, hashtag I'll eat you alive." Big words by the greatest Royal Rumble winner, Strowman did take issue with a comment by a fan who described Moxley as the baddest in the biz. Strowman said that he, quote, "drugged that dude so bad he had to go to another promotion." While it may just be Strowman playing up to a character, fans have already started speculation of any beef the two may have had when Moxley was in WWE as Dean Ambrose. It's unlikely the former lunatic fringe will reply though, as he's a known recluse on social media, and is likely healing up from his brutal lights-out match that he had with Kenny Omega at Full Gear. Though no one in WWE wants to admit it, it's clear that the war with AEW is very real. We're looking at the Evolve promotion next in the video, as this December's Evolve 141 show will feature the WWE's United Kingdom champion Walter. At the show, the Austrian superstar will face Timothy Thatcher in Livonia, Michigan on December 6th, and will also appear at Evolve 142 the next night in Chicago, Illinois, where he will take on the company's champion Josh Briggs in non-title action. Briggs, who won the title last week from Austin Theory, will certainly have a busy week, as the day before he faces Walter, he'll be defending his title against JD Drake at the 141 show. Evolve 141 is taking place at the Monaghan Knights of Columbus Hall, while Evolve 142 will take place at the Logan Square Auditorium. Back to WWE now, and though this recent tour of Europe must have been exhausting for the superstars, that didn't stop Kevin Owens from thanking his recent tag partner Rey Mysterio. On Twitter, the prizefighter described teaming with the Masked Legend as an honor, saying, "I've experienced lots of highs and lows in this industry over the past 20 years. Getting to team with this guy tonight definitely belongs in the highs category. An absolute honor. Thank you, @Rey Mysterio." It's funny that it would only have been a year or so ago that Owens would have blasted and berated Mysterio on Twitter, presumably calling him old and weathered, but the newer face Kevin Owens is a much different man. Owens was also a part of this week's Monday Night Raw, but even the appearance of the former Universal Champion couldn't save the show. According to Showbuzz Daily, the November 11th edition of the Red Brand drew an average of 2.06 million viewers, the lowest number for the show in 2019. It should be noted that the November 4th Raw did 2.13 million viewers, but that this week's Raw was actually taped in the UK on Friday, November 8th, and that having the results available days before the episode aired may have been a factor in the dropping figures. As far as demographics go, Raw averaged a .64 rating in the 18 to 49 group, down from last week's .75. It was the NFL match between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks that dominated the night, drawing 15.9 million viewers and a 5.09 figure for 18 to 49s. Breaking Raw down, Hour 1 started with 2.35 million and a .75 rating, which dropped to 2.06 million and a .66 rating in Hour 2 before settling in at 1.75 million and a .52 demographic rating in Hour 3. From Raw to SmackDown next, and while Sasha Banks is now a regular part of the show, it wasn't that long ago that the boss was reportedly looking to quit. Taking a hiatus after WrestleMania, the future was unclear for the boss, as she denied a backstage incident at the pay-per-view despite earlier admitting to it. One thing we do know is that Sasha is making bank in WWE and cut an in-kayfabe promo to Sam Roberts at the recent Ringside Fest. Staying in character, Banks said she receives perks, including a private bus and a plane, which have been gifted to her exclusively from Vince McMahon. She said, "Yeah, I was negotiating during my hiatus. It's all about the money. That's why I haven't really been wrestling on SmackDown yet, because I'm waiting for the check to get cleared to bonus out, so I only really wrestle for money. Triple H said he was going to pay me extra, but I guess he's a little poor right now, so I got the check from Vince. Thank you again, Vince. I'm just waiting on that check from Hunter. I'm going to collect for what he did on Friday Night SmackDown, by the way. He still owes me a ton of money from NXT as well, so hell yeah he does. So if he wants to be in the bank statement, I'm going to come to collect." It's interesting to see the boss call out Triple H in this way, but as the head of NXT, we can't help but wonder whether the game will have some retaliation on the SmackDown superstar thanks to the women of the Gold brand. Speaking of NXT, fans have seen plenty of the brand's former world champions be on the cusp of a push on Raw and SmackDown, and one superstar who was nearly there is Aleister Black. Recently, Black has continued to cut promos backstage, but according to Dave Meltzer, the Dutch superstar is out with a knee injury, but the company wants him to remain on TV. Hopefully, Black's injury isn't too serious, as he'll be needing those legs to deliver kicks, but it's good to see WWE hasn't given up on him. Though the WWE hasn't given up on Black, there's quite a few superstars who want out of the company, with many tweeting about AEW interest to increase their value. During StarCast 4, Cody and Brandi Rhodes were asked about WWE talent using their name to get bigger contracts for McMahon, and Cody said he's fine with the practice as it's best for business. I'll say this, as wrestlers, we're brothers and sisters as wrestlers, we really are. It doesn't matter what roof we're under. The wrestling industry, when you compare it to other forms of comparable influence like popular TV, where they're paid so much and they're unionized and they have so much to protect and safeguards. One of the most exciting things about AEW is we've been able to raise the entire pay floor for the entire industry. So that if Randy Orton wants to take a dumb photo on an elevator and tag people he doesn't even know in it, and if WWE is dumb enough to buy into it and then pay him a certain amount, good for Randy Orton. You know what I'm saying? He's a good guy and he's got like 20 kids now. I love him. I love Randy. I never got to beat him, damn it. You'll never know who might turn up in AEW, but it looks like Rhodes will have to wait a while for his shot at the Viper, as Orton signed a 5-year deal to stay with WWE. And we're finishing with a story about WWE's Apex Predator today, as Orton has challenged John Cena to a match at WrestleMania 36. Initially challenging The Rock, which didn't work out, it was an in-flight magazine with Cena's face on it that caused Orton to change strategy, and Sports Illustrated's Justin Barrasso recently spoke with the 16-time world champion about the match. Cena said, "I wasn't even aware of that. I never make the matches. I'm just grateful to be able to perform in WWE. Every day away from it, I miss it more and more. I'm becoming more honest with myself about how much I miss it. I'm very eager to get back into a WWE ring soon. And on the subject of WrestleMania, I can tell you this, I haven't missed a WrestleMania since my first appearance at WrestleMania 19, and I do not plan to miss a WrestleMania for decades to come." Fans will know that Cena and Orton are no strangers in or out of the ring, but do you want to see the pair write what could be the last chapter of their rivalry next April in Tampa? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching.